Hi, this is Michael O'Connor from O'Connor Junior Vets in Cashel, and you're welcome to Cashel. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, and we're on our first call where we're doing a few equine scans. Show you
Yeah.
So this is first mare that should be in season by now. She's what we call a transition mare, so it's our first heat of the year. So sometimes they can behave a little bit odd in the first heat of the year. They can do anything. They could cycle very, very quickly, you could miss them, or they could cycle. Sometimes it can be hard to get them cycled. And so we've been monitoring her for a couple of days now. And she has been moving very slowly, but she has been moving in the right direction. So, as you can see, equine scanning for welfare and safety for Darren at the front, the mare in the middle, and me at the back. That's where the stocks comes in. All around the uterine tract and on the right ovary. So I do all that bit first before we go into the scanner. Back inside there now. So I don't know if you want to focus in on that, Jesse, okay? That's a cross section of the uterus. You have to use your imagination, but people would call that a cartwheel effect or a citrus effect. And that's what they call uterine oedema. So she is in season based on that. Alright, we have nice uterine tone, and you get nice folds of the lining of the uterus. You get a really clear picture when they're in season. Nice definition. Not a whole lot of action on the right ovary, small follicles there. And Tina beside you is going to tell us what I told her yesterday, because I can't remember. So that's our follicle. And we're going to freeze that. That's a nice big follicle. We'll freeze it. And what size was it yesterday, Tina?
40-42.
So 40-42 yesterday. So we measure today. We keep a record of everything we do because you couldn't remember them all. Yeah, she's a 43 today, so she's slow. So this mare should be good result, please God. So we've scanned her in full, and we're back now at 28-30 days. We're actually long, we're strong on 30 days, aren't we? What? Tina will check the book. So there's your embryo sac,
39 or 36.
the outside sac. There's your embryo coming in. There's the inside sac, and in the middle of that there you should see a little pump. 1 second now. So if we focus here where my finger is, see the pump there? That's your heartbeat. So you have a fetal heartbeat scan. We're what, 35 days?
39, but she should be 36. She's 3 days behind.
She's 3 days behind. So this girl we scanned in full at 14 days, and we're back at 16 days to check for twins because she had a double ovulation. So she'd be at high risk of getting twins. So we start from one ovary. This is uterine body. And we're moving along really slowly from left to right. We should find one pregnancy. It was there 2 days ago. But we're back now to make sure we only have one. We're going up along high on the right, and there's one pregnancy. So that's the 4. It's quite small, but it's coming on nicely. And there's our corpus luteum. I'll just come back all around here in the mid body. So that is, Jessie, a thumbs up. One pregnancy. So just go back up. There's your pregnancy, okay? I'm Michael O'Connor from O'Connor Junior Vets in Cashel, and you're very welcome to join us here for the day. We're a mixed practice, 7 vets, and between ancillary staff, nurses, groomers, there's 18 in total that's here. Mixed practice, full range of work, largely dairy orientated, a good bit of equine and beef, and a small business that is grown yearly. So we're going to have a busy day. We've had a few jobs already this morning, and a lot more to do. So hopefully we'll have a good day and you'll see a good ride. Bit of better picture. Alright, ready? So this mare is similar to the one we saw this morning in that she's a transition mare. This is her first proper heat of the year. She's been slow coming in for us, but now she's properly in season. We've big exaggerated folds there of oedema, uterine oedema. So she's well in season now. And high up on this right hand side, if she let me push in a little bit more, there's the right ovary coming in. Okay, a nice large follicle. It's just a bit of a reach. So that's a nice large follicle high up on the right ovary. Easy there, easy there, easy. So I'm just pushing a bit to get to it. So based on the size of that follicle and that uterine oedema, we're getting close to time to cover. But I think we've definitely another 24, maybe 48 hours to go. Alright. So the story with that mare now is that the owner is going to ring the stud and checking the availability of the stallion, and more than likely she'll be ready for either late tomorrow evening or the morning after. So what we're going to do is we're going to check her tomorrow morning just to confirm, but more than likely she'll go to the stallion the morning after. So that's the plan for her. There was from somebody following us, that is, are twin foals a problem? And the answer is yes. There's a high risk of twin pregnancy in mare, the risk being that the mare struggles to carry twins due to the placental attachment, and there's a high risk of abortion, low fetal survivability, and a risk to the mare herself. So a single pregnancy is what you're looking for, and a twin pregnancy scanned at 16 days can be dealt with, where one of the embryos is removed and the remaining embryo is followed then and checked for its health and sustainability of it. So the answer is yes, but it can be dealt with, and dealt with safely, and generally speaking, the mare and the pregnancy does very, very well. So we've just examined a batch of dairy calves on a farm. The calves are actually in quite good order, but the farmer was worried about one or two calves that have shown a small bit of a respiratory pant. We examined 4 different calves. One has bad pneumonia, but the other 3 are quite good. The guy with bad pneumonia more likely is a chronic case that had an initial respiratory issue previous. The issue on that farm is actually numbers. They're in good order, in good housing, but he probably has too many indoors now, and it's getting a little bit warm in that shed, and possibly lacking ventilation for the numbers there. So we've made a plan. The stronger calves are going to be turned out tomorrow and the day after, reduce the numbers, and we're not going to use, there's one house close to the parlour that definitely is, the ventilation is an issue, so we're not going to, no remaining younger calves are going to follow onto that house. He's going to start a respiratory vaccination on those calves as well. We did fecal samples on site and they're actually all clear. So it's a respiratory issue on that farm, and more than likely it is housing and ventilation is the leading factor. We're going to use our vac. This cow is calved 2 weeks. She's off form, running a high temperature, and the farmer thought that she had a womb infection, which we would call metritis or metritis. She's actually doesn't have a womb infection, but because she had a hard calving, her conformation is slightly sloped, and she's actually pooling urine in front of her cervix, and she's actually getting a urine scald, which is causing a pain and irritation and slightly raised temperature. We checked her with no displays of amazing, nothing like that, so we're going to treat her for the soreness and inflammation there, and she'll slowly get better. It'll take her a little bit of time, but she'll get over that. Okay? Rating on here now as we're talking. So that pump is a mouth gag. She chews and salivates and can deliver a large quantity of fluids nice and easily without distressing her. So this is a calf that we're looking at. We're guessing about 3 weeks old, with very bad diarrhea and acidosis. He's for a suckler farmer, client of ours that works off farm. So we're just going on the history that we got over the phone. So we set him up with IV fluids, kind of an ICU unit, outdoors, casual style. He's hooked up with a catheter, stitched in and draped around the back of his ear, and also tagged on there. So even if he moves, he'll still get these fluids. So 3 litres drip with a spike of bicarbonate in for the acidosis that he has. And we're going to do a scour sample, but what I think it looks like rotavirus. I think a lovely spot on a lovely day to lie down. So that cow, that's her second time being seen in the last 3 days. She's deteriorating. She has peritonitis. We've treated with 1 course of treatment. She's not responding, still has a high temperature, and is offered food. So we've changed the antibiotic, and we're hopeful that we'll get a bit of a response, but the prognosis is still guarded with that cow. So that's it for today. Thanks to MSD and That's Farming for supporting the Snapchat event. We've had a good busy day and a good variety, and I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. Before we finish, I'd like to invite you to the All Ireland Sheep Shearing and Wool Handling and Family Fun Day that we're hosting here in Cashel on Saturday and Sunday, May the 25th this year, and promises to be a huge event and a good day out for all involved. And again, I'd like to thank MSD for coming on board as a gold sponsor for this event. Thank you.